My name is Anita Mendiratta. I'm honored to be trusted by global leaders around the world as a strategic advisor, as an award-winning author, and an on-stage and on-air presenter, and as a trusted confidant. I'm very grateful to be able to give the chance to be able to speak to leaders around the world, because as we know, leadership has become incredibly popular. The principles and the processes are very well known, as is the pride of being called a leader. However, as we know, leadership during times of crisis is very different. Leadership during times of crisis requires that leaders dig deep. The responses are different because people's wiring is different. Because ultimately, when a crisis occurs, be it professional or personal, large or small, leaders ultimately need to step up with courage, with conviction, with confidence, and with compassion. And this is what is so often forgotten, because leading during a crisis demands that we tap into the humanity of leadership, not only the lessons, the insights, and the best practices. Through my 20+ years leading a strategic consultancy firm around the globe, working with over 100 countries, as well as being the special advisor to the Secretary General of UN Tourism, I've had the chance to work alongside leaders as they have worked through some of the hardest crises in their own lives, in their countries, in their businesses. It could be a national crisis taking place at a geopolitical level. It could be a crisis taking place inside the business. It could be a terror attack, an economic downturn, or as we all went through the COVID-19 pandemic that shut us all down and shut us all in. Leaders were demanded to find the deepest part of themselves to lead through that crisis. And we know some stepped out, but some stepped up, which is why I wrote my award-winning book, The Call to Leadership, Unlocking the Leader Within in Times of Crisis, working closely with global leaders who stepped up to understand what exactly was it in their wiring, in their thinking, in their processes that helped them get through, and how can we learn from that? When leaders come together, they come together as a peer group. They come together as people looking to not only learn, but to lean in. Which is why when I speak to organizations, when I speak to leadership groups, large or small, I try to invigorate the room, get them to come together, to connect, to learn, to unite, and importantly, to not feel alone. This is also one of the reasons why I've become a go-to with global media, as when news breaks, they want to understand not just the context of what's happening, but how are leaders working through it, whether it's, again, breaking news or an ongoing story that needs people to understand how is the leader trying to find a way through the challenges to be able to bring the country, the company, their people closer together. It would be my honor and my pleasure to be able to work with you to bring this energy, this conviction, and this confidence to your stage. My name is Anita Mendiratta, and I look forward to meeting you.